Welcome. Now in this module, we're going to take a look at controls appendix, and we're looking at operation security, and this is the 7th part in the series in which we're looking at the controls appendix. Now we are going to look at operation security A12, and this has a total of 14 controls, one of the largest groups in the entire standard. So A.12, operation security, we now go to the second control objective, protection from malware. So here 12.2.1 says controls against malware, and the detail in green is detection, prevention, and recovery controls to protect against malware shall be implemented combined with appropriate user awareness. So this could consist of the antivirus system, for example. We could have a firewall at the edge of the network. We could have an intrusion prevention system, and there could be other mechanisms by which we prevent malware. For example, the anti-spam system, or through email, and on the web security, we would have a web security gateway lying in the DMZ. Now, the third control objective in operation security is backup, which is 12.3. And here we have one control, information backup. And the detail is backup copies of information, software, and system images shall be taken and tested regularly in accordance with an agreed backup policy. So three things here. We have a policy, the backup, and the backup should be tested. And backups are extremely important for the business continuity, and business continuity is another control, so altogether other control set, but you need to take the backups in order to assure that the continuity of the systems will be there and the availability of the information processing facilities will be there. And then we move to the fourth control objective under operation security, logging and monitoring. And we have event logging, protection of log information, administrator and operator logs, and clock synchronization. And as we know, the logging is important from two perspectives. One is to establish a trail for security incidents, and the other one is actually to monitor the performance of the entire system. And event logging is actually a very important control set. So 12.4 logging and monitoring is a very important control objective. Event logging 12.4.1, event logs recording user activities, exceptions, faults, and information security events shall be produced, kept, and regularly reviewed. And you could do this, you could store these logs in a syslog server or in a security information and event management system, which also organizes the events and does, gives you a dashboard, root cause analysis, correlation of the events, and all of that. Administrator and operator logs need to be handled very carefully. System administrator and system operator activities shall be logged, and the logs protected and regularly reviewed. So you need to review them, you need to protect them, and you need to log what the administrators are doing, because they are usually super users, and we need to observe if any malicious or unauthorized activity has been conducted by the administrators, and the trail also needs to be there in the form of the logs. Now, 12.5, control of operational software under operation security. Installation of software on operational systems should be controlled, and in green, we see that procedures shall be implemented to control the installation of software on operational systems. And sometimes what happens is that users have full rights to install whatever software they want, and there's no software listing, and there's no restriction, and sometimes that software is malicious, and sometimes the software could damage the integrity, confidentiality, or availability of certain assets. And then moving on, we have technical vulnerability management, 12.6, the sixth control objective under operation security, management of technical vulnerabilities, which is your vulnerability management through a scanner like Nessus or Qualys, and restrictions on software installation once again. So under management of technical vulnerabilities, the control 12.6.1 says in green, information about technical vulnerabilities of information systems being used shall be obtained in a timely fashion, for example, from advisories or a CERT, and the organization's exposure to such vulnerabilities evaluated and appropriate measures taken to address the associated risk. So we're talking about the complete vulnerability management lifecycle. And in information security transformation framework or model, that is step number 2 of the information security transformation model. Now, restrictions on software installation, rules governing the installation of software by users shall be established and implemented. So we had talked about restrictions of software installation on operational systems in the one of the previous controls, and now we're talking about restrictions for users to deploy or install software, and that's also software whitelisting. And we have the seventh control objective, information systems audit controls. And audit actually needs to be organized properly. And audit requirements and activities involving verification of operational systems shall be carefully planned and agreed to minimize disruptions to business processes. So whenever there is an audit required of a system, we don't want it to actually bring down the network or bring down the application or the system. So we looked at various aspects of operation security, and let's look at communication security in the next module. Thank you.